Hey, Dad. So, I thought I'd help you out. I'm here with you in spirit. Okay? Got a Baron. I'm in Chalice. And I'm going to fly up to Salmon and see you. Pretend I'm seeing you, at least. Alright, so, first thing I need to do, put fuel on. And I've got my. Yeah. So, I'll do right engine first. I think I just hit start here. I'm not sure. Hmm. Okay. How's that one? That's good. And then, let's see here. Guess I do the other one. Okay. Oh, engines are started. So I got to look real quick here. So I'm just gonna bring this over and let you see. We'll find Challis first of all. Let me find Salt Lake. Okay, so it's Challis. It's probably up here somewhere. There we go. KLLJ, and then I got to go up here where to Salmon. Okay, so KSMN. That's where I'm headed. Here to here. So what I'll do, let's go to SimBrief, and I go to dispatch. Dispatch system, new flight. I go KLJ, KSMN. Always use my alternate. Airframe is a Baron BE58, I think it is. So let's see what we got here. There it is, Baron 58. And I'll call this one whatever, that's fine. And then I look at any routes of flight, so LKT to there. That's pretty much what people normally do if they are going to go IFR. It looks like I could go VFR today, but let's do this anyway. So I'll go ahead and say, do that one, and so I'm going to say generate my flight, and it's going to do a little calculation, blah 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 blah, and spit out my flight plan. So, how much block time fuel do I need? All that stuff. And here's my routing. LLJ on runway 35, direct to LKT, direct to Salmon, landing runway 17, and some other information. Route of flight, winds, and here's my. That doesn't look quite right here. So I don't think that that's. Yeah, the altitude I want to be at. Flight level, maybe 10,000. Yeah, take off at Salmon. So let me go back. Not look too good, does it? Flying through mountains and such. So I'm gonna say. Edit flight. I think there's a where I can put in my altitude. All right, 11,000. Yeah, there we go. Now let me generate that flight. Sure. Uh-oh. That's my flight rate. So now if I preview that. Still look down here. That's all. I thought I had 11,000 in there. Why is it doing this to me? Alright, let me go back here again. Go back. Did I not put in 11,000? Thought that I did. Okay, so let me do 15,000. I'll generate that flight. Sure. Should overwrite my other one, and then let's see what that one looks like. This must be, no, that's, I don't know if this thing is generating things correctly. It doesn't look like it. Well, I'll tell you what. I know what I'm going to file. I'll just fly it. Anyway. So the important part is I'll just do the routing, and then I'll take care of the altitude myself. So the routing is runway 35, direct to LKT, and then KSMN. So basically what I'm going to do here is go flight plan, my origin, and there's a little thing here I can use as a keyboard, so I can go KLLJ, otherwise I'd have to spin these dials a lot, so hit enter on that one, and runway is 35. Okay. And then en route it's LKT. Gotta make sure we get the right LKT. And that is, okay. No. Northwest USA, yes, that VOR. And then KLLJ is the destination. Clear. 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 Hit the wrong button again. I'm going to get this bigger outer ring here. There we go. And that'll be KSMN. Salmon. That is runway. Let's see, what did our thing say? Runway 17. So now if I was going to do an approach or something, 17 would just pick that first. That's, so now I can just say that's good. I go out here and kind of look at my route of flight, make sure it looks like it makes sense. There's a Salmon River, so I go to LKT. And I'm just going to show you that really quick on the map. Here, there, where was I? Right. I found it before. Probably this one, right? That's Salmon. Okay, here. So LKT is the Salmon VOR right here. So I go direct up to that, and then I go to this. So that's my route of flight. Okay, and that is 113.5. So it's going to put it in because the GPS will know where it's at too. But if I want to tune it in also, I could go 113.5. So just to be super redundant here, I will go to my nav radios. Up here, I'm going to be tuning this, and then I got to throw the active inside. So 113.5, I think it was what I said. And that should be LKT. Yep. So got the right one in, and I could put down here on my primary options, I could do bearing 1, and I could make that nav 1 to LKT, which is 30.6 miles, so it's that way. Okay. It's also going to take me that way on the pink line. So the blue line is the VOR, pink is the GPS, which I usually fly the GPS now. But we could go old school and fly the VOR2. So if I went like this, I go back, and I could say my CDI, I want it to be going to the VOR, or I could use something else, localizer 2, which I don't have anything yet, or I could do other things. So there, but I'm going to go with GPS is the best one. So we're ready to come see you in Salmon now. Put my yoke back in. And I'm just going to pull out through the grass because there's pushback toolbars and things, but I could call for that, but I'm not gonna. I'm just gonna drive. I'm trying not to hit something here. Let's see. If it breaks and hits something, it's only... Alright, here. Alright. Feeling... It could crash us dead. I don't know if it counts that thing as a thing that will hurt you or not. It does not. The buildings would, but that thing didn't, so... Okay, good. Sometimes you have to cheat like that if you don't have a little pusher helper that would push you backwards. So I'm going to go this way because we said we were going to take off on runway 35, so this is... We head back south towards town. I'll show you how all this works. So while we're taxiing down the runway, I've got a... I'll go slow here so we don't run off the runway. But I'm going to go here, and you see this is where you set your altitude. So I'm going to go to altitude mode and put that up to like 15,000. I think that's going to be safe. We'll keep an eye on it, but 15,000 looks good. So I'm going to go like that. So I'm at 9,000, 10,000, 15 is where I want to be. Okay, so that's going to be my autopilot. Now I'm going to go set my climb speed. So you see over on the left-hand side right here where the knots are. I'm going to zoom in a little bit more so you can see that. So I set that to 15,000. I'm currently at, let me check my altimeter here. Okay, yeah, so we're standard temperature here, standard pressure. I'm going to go over here now. And I'm going to climb out with the Baron at... You can see this is my best climb angle, so I might just go to 115 or something like that, or 110. So the lower, the higher, I'm steeper I'm climbing. So 92 would be climbing out of a canyon. I don't need to do that, so I'll go with, I'm going to go with, we'll go 105 just to, that's your best rate of climb speed. All right, so that's good. And now, probably I can set my mixture less than full reg because we're up in the mountains. So I'm going to pull it back to the T, but it's supposed to be full reg at takeoff unless you know. So I'm going to have it just a little bit back from full reg. All right, so I've got my takeoff flaps in. Let's take a look here. Yep. Okay, so I will continue on. And what I can do is if we look at the autopilot, I can set, right now it's set to flight level change and roll. So I'm going to do heading to start with, okay? And then the heading bug, I'll switch that over to, we're going off runway 35, right? taxiing a little bit while we talk here. So I'll go 350 on the heading bug, which is about where it's at right now. It's at 350, 352, 51, 350. Okay, so if I engage the autopilot on takeoff right now, it'll track to that heading and it'll climb at that airspeed with the way I've got it configured currently. Okay, so I'll lift up now and we'll look outside. Let's see. How long it takes us to get to Salmon. Positive rate, gears coming up. Okay, you can see that the angle that we need to go is right ahead. So I'm just going to hit the autopilot on right now and you'll watch. I turned autopilot on and it should try to climb up here and get me to about 105, and I'm going to take my flaps off right now. Let's see if it steepens my climb up. You can see my current rate of ascent is 2,400 feet a minute. And hopefully this will keep coming down a little bit. I think I had IAS mode set for my climb out. Yeah, okay. It's not obeying 100% there, but close. And I've got heading mode on, so if I use my heading and I turn a couple degrees over to the right, it'll turn and go to that heading, right? You can see that my little course deviation thing there is a little off to the right, so I need to go a little right to get on my GPS track over here, which is in purple or pink. Okay, but if I hit the nav button, which is going to switch me, this is going to switch me into like nav mode right here. I can hit a button on my thing or just hit it here. I'll do that and it'll automatically switch over. Okay, so it's in nav mode now. It's going to go over to the right and kind of bring that needle back to center, and it'll correct course until it lines me up properly. Gets that thing centered, and then it'll head back towards sort of where it's pointed, and it'll keep correcting for wind and things that'll push you off that course. I'll go over here, Dad. I'm going to, so anyway, let's look outside a second. There's Challis behind us, that river right there, Cousin Pete's house. Head direct up over here, just left of the river. And we're climbing up to our 15,000 feet, and let's see if that looks like it's going to be good. I think it will be. Pull the power back a little bit, pull my RPM back a little bit so I'm not so maxed out now after takeoff. I run those that speed too long. And it is nailing me right there at 105, that's good. cleaned up, gear up, and headed for Salmon. The VOR first. So you can see it's keeping that center needle now. Right? I'll get down here and looking. Basically, this is what they call a Garmin 1000. This setup here, this is your primary flight display, and this is your multi-function display, so you can see different things over here, like I'm seeing my fuel, like my fuel flow, manifold pressure, RPM. So I'm going to pull back, so you see I'm close to red there. I'm going to pull my RPMs back a little bit, more like 2300. You can kind of see that's good. I'm in the green there. Manifold's good, oil pressure and temps, fuel, all that kind of stuff looks good. Gallons per hour, about 4.6 gallons per engine. Right now, that's not too shabby. Now I can kind of lean it out a bit too. Hear my RPMs going up a little bit as I do that. 44 outside. Oh, that's nice. And it's coming up right now. We're not climbing that fast anymore, are we? Leaning it out, and it is definitely getting more. Look at that climb. That's just me leaning it out a little bit. So just a little bit gave me that extra climb power. Slowly leaning it out. I'm going to watch that. My fuel flow is at 8. So I was going to say I was starving it a little bit there, or it was too rich. So this is good. 1,200 feet per minute right here. And you can see I've got it leaned out about 50% there almost. Now some other things, I'm gonna look over here. 8 minutes till I hit, I'm at 132 knots ground speed right now climbing, but it'll go a lot faster than that if I weren't going so high. And so it's telling me I'm going to, from runway 35, I'm going direct to LKT. That's the route or leg that I'm on right now. 17.1 nautical miles away, bearing 358, so just about due north. These are my comm radios over here, so this would be my active comm 118.3. It's nothing right now because I'm not talking to anybody. But I can put a transponder in down here. I could do different things. I could set, you know, course and try to track a specific radio in, etc., etc. Over here, map options. I can get XRAD. Nothing going on right now. Just do that without the topo. Terrain off, topo. I like that. And then I can do traffic. So north is up. And again, 6.5 minutes till I get to my waypoint at this current ground speed of 135. Here's my true airspeed, so I really don't, it's calm, I really don't have a headwind or a tailwind, I'm just, and we're at 13,000. I don't think we need to be any higher than this, over in this part of Idaho at least. Well, that's fine. I'll probably knock it down to 14,000, Dad, since I was just sort of, and there we'll stop at 14. So now I'm within, it's flashing because I'm within 1,000 feet. So it'll stop when it gets there, and then I'll level off and start speeding up. My ground speed will probably increase quite a bit. And my time to get there is only 5.5 minutes now. It'll probably start readjusting and getting shorter than that as we get leveled off. And now I can do lean it out a little more and see if I get more power. Because we're getting higher. That's working. So I leaned it out a bit more. So it's coming up to altitude there. This is flashing, so just about to 14. And you can see the speed is coming down now. It's going to level off right at 14 and hold me there. And now I'm not climbing anymore, so it disengaged my climb at airspeed. Now it's just going to go whatever my power setting is, just kind of tick up until, you know, the momentum is done. Here's the clock time. So UTC is 10:30 at night. You're probably -7 from that, so 3:30 in the afternoon? Maybe? Something like that. Or 4:30. Okay. So now my ground speed's 168, and you can see my time's only 3 minutes to get there. So Challis back behind us, and we're just, see, where's the river? Over there to the right a little bit. I see where the river would be running. Okay, so now what I could do is show you over here. Let me just show you this. So when I did my flight planning, I have another thing called Navigraph I can log into, and it keeps track of the flights that I've planned using the other app. So I can just go new flight from SimBrief. There's it, Salmon. That's the last one I did, so it's got that one in memory, and it shows me my route of flight. So what I could do now is just look at Salmon's charts, and I'm coming into 17, so I could actually look up an RNAV approach. I'll just pin that one down here, and then I'm also going to look up the airport at Salmon. So here's the airport chart. I'll be landing on 17, and then I'll just get off to the right and go park at the GA over here somewhere, end of the runway, no problem. So that's pretty simple. There's not really much to worry about as far as taxiways, complication, etc. Here's the RNAV approach. So I can overlay that on top of my route of flight here, and you can see that if I were going to take the RNAV, which I will not now because I don't need to get routed up to, you know, any of these places, I can just come around in here. But if I were into any of these arrival points that made sense, I could track these different headings and have it fly me, you know, from Casbah at 8,100 feet to Divdi at 7,600, down to Budio 7,100, and then I'd have to make my determination here about 4.3 miles from the runway at Axeld, and I could find out if I don't see it there, I gotta go on a missed approach and go to Lowe's, which is L-O-S-E, so climb to 13,600 and go direct to Los. I gotta find out where Los is. Off down the valley more. There it is. That's from here to there. And then Mules, and then Newbie, and then I do a hold at Orel. So I can show you where that is if I kind of go to my low end route here. Los, there's Orel. Alright, so close this for a second. I go to those points, Los, Noob, and then or else where I end up holding at. Let's see what we got here. I don't see some of those other ones, so it's interesting. But I'll still have, anyway, I'm not going to do the approach, in other words, but you can see where I'm flying right now, so it's time to start descending. Okay, autopilot's off. And it's turning right now. Oh, it's not turning, that's me turning. So I can see where I want to get to, how far I've got to get to Salmon. It's runway 12, and I'm what? 6 miles, 5 miles, so I'm high as a kite. But no worries, I'll go up here and I'll put some flaps on. I'm going to pull up just so I can slow down, and I'll put flaps on, full landing flaps, throw my gear in there, get all that drag going for me. Trimmer down, and there's the runway down there, it looks like. So I'll just get this thing centered, and I can see that I need to come around from the left and then head back towards Challis on the landing. So I could just, you know, probably make right traffic here instead of going across the runway and going left. So there we are, going into Salmon. And let's see what the touchdown zone elevation is. On my approach plate, it'll tell me that is 4,041 in Salmon, so I'm at 9,200 right now, so I need to be at about 5,041 for pattern altitude. So get down there, turn, and if I suppose I could try slipping here a bit. So if I crank all my right rudder in and then left aileron, we're slipping pretty good now in the Barren. Your ears would definitely be probably popping right now. 5,000 feet a minute or so. That's, and now I'm gonna slowly let off all that slippage, and I'm just about to pattern altitude, another 500 feet or so, so start putting some power back in, enriching the mixture a little bit, and I'm going to go runway. It's basically 17 that I have to land on, so I put that on the nose, something like this, or on the tail down here, 17. So I'm going, you know, parallel pretty much. Too slow, and I'm a little low, but we're good. Okay, so I'll go up the valley a little bit and turn around, give myself plenty of room. And over here, if you want to look, I can see, zoom in, kind of see the airport there. So now I know I'm a little bit more. I'll turn around and low because I got the 4 lights. I'm slightly low because I got the 1 light there. So I need to get 2 whites and 2 reds. There we go. A little high now. Oh, right on the glide slope right now. 2 whites, 2 reds, about where you want to be to touch down right at the strip back there. I'm a little bit low. Now I'm back on it. Yeah, I'm just gonna, I don't know how long the runway is, so I'm just gonna cut the power now. Yep. Alright. So there we go. We're down in Salmon. I'll have to back taxi a little bit here. I can go to the end, that's right, because that's where everything's at. I didn't catch the time. How long did that take us? 22:41. Didn't take us very long. Oh, 20 minutes? 15, 20 minutes? I don't know. Pretty short. Keep going. I had plenty of room to touch down even longer on the runway, but there's a taxiway right down here I'll get off on. Alpha. Hey, parking brakes on. I'll cut the mixture on right prop. And I'll cut the mixture on the left prop. Alright, and shut off some lights. And the anti-icing and all that kind of stuff. And now I just shut the battery down. We're good. And it took us, I don't know, 19 minutes, including all my run-ups and all that stuff, so that wasn't too bad. And now, we'll go outside, and we'll fly around a little bit here and see if I can figure out where the, so that's west-ish, southwest-ish, so if I go here, thinking, Okay, so that's north. So I think the town is up north here. So it must be 93 right there that runs along the river. I had to escape for a second. I gotta go to my settings. Let's see. I think there's cameras. My chase camera. Hmm. Hmm. Free look. Maybe that's called free look. I don't know. Let's try that. Maybe that'll let us go faster. I don't know if that did anything. Going backwards now. That's from looking towards Challis. It's our little barren down there. Well, I guess you're over here somewhere. Anyway, hope you enjoyed that. I'm gonna make a YouTube video and send it to you, and then you can just enjoy it, or not. But if you're bored, it might be fun.